3, 2, 1, mark. That was your 1-minute time check, stations.
All right. All right, let's hit it.
The following program is paid for by Learfield Bobcat Sports Properties.
On the Bobcat Sports Network from Learfield, this is Cat Chat with Matt Logie and Tricia Benford, presented by Montana's Rib and Chop House. Here's the voice of the Bobcats, Keaton Galogly.
All right, hello, and welcome live to Montana's Rib and Chop House for Cat Chat. Pleasure to see all the friendly, smiling faces once again today. Some new friendly, smiling faces as well. We got a great show planned for you today. We're going to talk with Associate Head Coach for Women's Basketball, Sunny Smallwood, a little bit later. We're also going to be talking to freshman Natalie Picton later today as well. We also have one of Helena's finest, or Carroll College's finest, Shamrock Campbell, who's one of the graduate assistants here. And, of course, we have head coach Matt Logie. Coach, how we doing? How we feeling?
Doing well.
Yes, happy to have you here and along today as we settle in and get into the dog days and get ready for Cat Grizz this weekend. Yes, we are heading over the hill into Missoula this weekend. So going to be a big weekend all across the board, but nice to at least have that Thursday off and maybe take a little deep breath.
Yeah, nice to get back in town after a long road trip and get ready for the Grizz on Saturday.
Yeah, you guys using this week in any particular way just to have a little extra time off?
Yeah, we took a day off yesterday on top of our travel day on Sunday just to get the guys kind of refreshed and ready to go, and then we'll we practice today and we'll ramp up towards Saturday.
Yeah, just those off days when we're traveling on those Sundays. We got back at about 2:30 or so plenty of time to get wherever you're going to watch the Super Bowl. But those Sunday travel days don't really feel like days off, do they?
No, not to the guys. You know, when you play 2 games in 3 days and you're traveling and multiple flights in between days, it's healthy to take an extra day here or there in February. And, I feel fortunate that I had the experience as a student athlete to go through some of those things and kind of remember what that feels like. I get older and older each year, but I try to remember what that felt like. And, I think it's important that when the lights come on and we need them at their best, that they've got as much fuel in the tank as possible.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, look, it's February. Like, everybody's going to be dealing with something, banged up here and there, and that's just the nature of the season. If you're not a little tired and sore, well, you're probably not playing hard enough at this point.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, we got some good stuff to talk about this week. I want to talk a little bit about some of your coaching tree and some of your former players that are in coaching. But before we get into that, let's dive a little into this week. So it was a couple of losses at Northern Colorado, at Northern Arizona, both very close losses, a combined 8 points in those 2 games. And really, once again, we have seen in these games some double-digit leads for your guys. But, as you guys have built out some of these leads, we have seen those good stretches of the offensive execution for you.
Yeah, I think, is the glass half full, is it half empty, and the half full, view. We've shown that we can play with anybody. We can build leads on anybody. When we're connected and playing, on script, our offense can be very difficult to defend. And at the same token, we've seen some of our newness, show up in pressure situations and times where we needed to be a little bit more disciplined in terms of our decision making, and we're learning from that as we go. So hopefully those are things that we can learn from and be better at. Obviously this weekend, but certainly in March.
Yeah, you kind of mentioned it. We dove pretty deep into some of the X's and O's for the television show, which will air tomorrow night at either 7 or 7:30 on MTN. If you can't catch that, it'll be on YouTube a little bit later. But we kind of talked about just getting that feel for that time, score, possession, momentum, that sort of thing. How are you going to try to kind of hone that in for the guys? How is that a skill that you can kind of build so that we have that as we get deeper into February and March rolls around?
Well, I mean, at the heart of things, coaching is teaching. And so the first thing we did when we got back to the hotel on Saturday night is, watch the film together and really communicate, why this was a bad decision or this was a bad shot and what could have been done differently in the next time around. And then today we worked on situations. We worked on, how to execute, the play after the play. So it's all part of the process, and certainly it comes with pain involved, but it is a part of the process of learning how to win on a consistent basis, and it takes all of us. It's not like one subset of players or position groups made mistakes. It's on all of us, and as coaches, it's our job to help them grow from it and know that we're behind them and we're supporting them, and the next time we get the crack, we'll do a better job.
That next crack is coming up on Saturday. The women are going to tip at 2 o'clock over there in Missoula. The men will tip at 7 o'clock. As we get into that game, Montana is a team that they've kind of ridden the roller coaster a little bit this year as well. They did win here in Bozeman on the men's side, but, they're a team that when they are going, that offense can be pretty darn good. But your defense, I think, since that game has shown some higher flashes than maybe we saw in that game. What are going to be some of the keys on the defensive side to try to slow down some of that offense?
Yeah, I mean, I think in some ways, in regards to the last game against Montana, I think you got to tip your hat to a couple of their guys. They had a couple of role players that stepped up and made shots and made some one-on-one plays that are kind of outside of the scouting report, not necessarily outside the scouting report, but kind of after the game planning, after the play calls, and what we're trying to do. And so, you hope that you can tighten those things up and defend at a little higher level on the things that we work on a lot. The reality is, during the course of a year, you're never as good as you feel, and you're never as bad as you think. And we have to remember who we are at our core, what makes us successful, and that's playing really intense, connected defense and making people uncomfortable, and then on offense, playing together and taking care of the basketball.
No doubt. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but we got more to come. We're talking about some men's basketball with head coach Matt Logie. But first, a timeout from Montana's Ribbon Chop House. You're listening to Cat Chat, presented by Learfield.
For every adventure and every mishap, Bozeman Health provides expert, personalized care to each person, going well beyond traditional health care. We're your partner in health and well-being, working together for your day-to-day and the decades to come. With care sites in Belgrade, Big Sky, and Bozeman, and with the only hospitals in the Gallatin Valley, Bozeman Health keeps your care close to home. Find a Bozeman Health provider today at bozemanhealth.org.
Hello, tomorrow. We may not know exactly what you've got in store for us, for our routines and our normals. But here's the thing. Turns out, we've got this. We haven't seen everything, but we have seen ourselves be more ready for whatever you bring than we thought we would be. So when it comes to tomorrow, bring on the day. First Interstate, built for you. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. Visit us at firstinterstate.com.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
I want BOGO for $1. Daily double.
Honey, wake up.
What? What's up?
You were talking in your sleep.
I had this dream. McDonald's Daily Double was BOGO for $1. Just like the McChicken, McDouble, and Hot and Spicy McChicken.
Honey, that's not a dream. The Daily Double is BOGO for $1.
All my dreams are coming true.
I don't know about that.
What do you think that dream means?
My guess, you really like McDonald's BOGO for $1 items.
Oh, you're good.
Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Valid for item of equal or lesser value. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
At Montana State University, students shape signature experiences that take them across the state and into local communities. MSU is dedicated to its land-grant mission, integrating transformational learning, discovery, and service that improves lives. You'll find our students teaching across Montana, conducting research in the heart of Yellowstone National Park, or even creating small shelter prototypes to address homelessness. Montana State University. Think outside.
With friendly customer service and an outstanding location near Montana State University in the base of the Bridger Mountain Range, Country Inn & Suites by Radisson is the perfect place to begin your Bozeman adventure. Country Inn & Suites offers a hot and delicious Be Our Guest breakfast buffet each morning. Free Wi-Fi is available throughout the property, and we have a business center and meeting rooms. Our indoor pool and hot tub is a great way to relax after a day of fun, and the on-site fitness center will keep your workout goals on track. We have spacious king and double queen suites with a full-size sleeper sofa available, and every room in Country Inn & Suites is smoke-free. Reserve your room today.
You are a Bobcat fan, and your seat matters. Section 108, right in the middle, and a perfect view of the fast break, alley-oop, and slam dunk. At Kendall Ford of Bozeman, we're a proud supporter of Montana State Athletics. We're big fans of teamwork, dedication, and helping customers find the best deal on the perfect vehicle to fit their needs. Where you sit matters, as in the driver's seat. Get started at KendallFordBozeman.com. Kendall, let's start something great.
We are back at Montana's Ribbon Shop House for Cat Chat. At Montana's Ribbon Shop House, our staff is dedicated to creating extraordinary experiences that raise the bar in each of our communities. Enjoy premium steaks, fresh seafood, award-winning baby back ribs. We look forward to sharing a little Rocky Mountain hospitality with you. I'm Keaton Galogly, along with head men's coach Matt Logie. Coach, want to talk to you a little bit kind of about your coaching tree. So we're going to have Shamrock Campbell on after this. He played for Coach Logie over in Point Loma last year after a 4-year career at Carroll College up in Helena. But you also have another former player on your staff right now in Zach Payne. So I think he's the tallest of your assistants. So if you're looking for him on the sidelines, he's the biggest guy down there. But he played for you quite a while ago now, but now here he is. He's been in the Big Sky a little bit, and you got a chance to make him turn in his dark pink with Montana to come over here for Montana State. But it's got to be pretty cool to just watch the way Payne is coaching right now and the way he's able to explain to these guys and just kind of the way he's doing things right now as one of your former players now turned coach.
Yeah, for sure. We call that a recognizance mission in our basketball family. So we sent him on the prowl a few years early, and he's been someone that was part of my first 2 teams as a head coach at Whitworth, and then was part of the coaching staff for 3 years after that. So my first 5 years as a head coach, he was right there in the thick of things with us, and I got to see him really commit to the coaching profession at a young age, and work second and third jobs to figure out how to graduate and get his foot in the door. And then I was able to work out a graduate assistant position for him and help him get his master's degree. And, we had a lot of success during his time as an assistant at Whitworth, and the recruiting that he did during that time paid great dividends in the years after he left as well. And so, I'm a product of a coaching tree. A coach gave me a chance to take that next step, and I'm just a big believer in paying it forward. And when you have guys like Zach and Shamrock and some of the others that have come before them in our family tree, that they're going to bring great value and have great trust in what they're saying to the players, and it's great to be a part of something bigger than yourself.
Yeah, what are some of those hurdles that these assistant coaches go through that maybe people don't know about?
Well, I think the first one, like for Coach Payne, for example, and for myself when I got into coaching, I was coaching and Coach Payne was coaching players that you were teammates with the year before. And so you have all these experiences with them as peers and classmates and off the court, and then, you've got to draw a really, strict line between that as you move forward. But it does afford you the opportunity to build on those relationships and the trust that they have in you, and so I think it's a huge positive. I think the other big jump is just kind of learning the business side of the profession and what it takes to move forward in your career, and how to grow and how to add value to a program, no matter what role you're in.
Yeah, and it's fun too, I think, just watching the way they kind of explain things. You know, I get the opportunity to watch you guys in practice and during shoot-around, and it's not something everybody gets to see, but just watching the way Coach Payne is able to explain some of these things, some of the concepts, and the way he's able to do it so consistently, clearly, and without second-guessing himself. It's not, hang on, this, that, and the other thing. It's, this is what we're doing, this is how we're going to do it, and if I got to explain it again, I will. How do you develop that? I mean, what have you seen in the way he's developed and his ability to communicate in those moments?
Yeah, well, I mean, first off, it's reps. You know, we speak the same basketball language. We know what we're looking for and what it should look like. And then at the same token, you're looking for, from a student-athlete perspective, when you're looking at guys that could go on to be coaches, guys that have leadership qualities and guys that understand the game. Those are the two things. You know, if you have leadership qualities, you know, you have the ability to influence others. You have the ability to connect with others. You have the ability to hold people accountable, and understand that, you know, you're not always going to be maybe your teammate's best friend when you have to do that, but that's what winning requires. And so those guys are able to take the next step as coaches. And then obviously just having an understanding of the game and being able to apply those lessons that you learned as a player and help, you know, pay it forward to those coming behind you.
Yeah. So you know, you're a guy who's a product of a coaching tree. You've left your last two programs in the hands of an assistant, and now, you know, we're going to have a chance to talk to somebody who's just starting in Shamrock Campbell, who just finished his playing career last year. How did it come about to have him here, and, you know, what were some of those conversations like?
Yeah, you know, Shamrock was somebody that knew that he wanted to get into coaching, and obviously, you know, we were coming up to Montana in the spring as a staff, and he had pretty early on kind of you know, got a situation figured out for himself over at Carroll. And then, you know, as happens in this business, there was a coaching change, and that kind of changed his scenario. And by the time that all happened, kind of the dust had settled with our staff, and I knew what we had and what we needed, and it was just a perfect fit, perfect timing to allow him to, you know, kind of follow through on his original plan, but do it for you know, for the Bobcats. So it's been great. You know, the best piece of advice that I ever got at that stage of my career came from my grandfather, and it was just make yourself invaluable. You know, find ways to add value, to take things off people's plate, to help the players out. And Sham's been a really selfless component of that this year.
Awesome. Well, we're going to talk to Sham here coming up after another timeout and find out what he's been taking off your plate all year. Coach Logie, appreciate the time and the insight today.
No problem. Go Cats.
All right. That's head coach Matt Logie. We're taking a break. When we come back, we're talking with Shamrock Campbell, one of the graduate assistants. You're listening to Cat Chat presented by Learfield.
Ready to build your brand? Think Inc. outside the box for your complete branding solutions. Located in Bozeman, Montana, we offer a full print shop for banners, signs, wraps, trade show booths and graphics, promotional products, and much more. If you can think it, we can ink it. We are a proud supporter and corporate sponsor of the MSU Bobcats. Like us on Facebook to see some of our cat wraps. Ready to build your brand? Think Inc. and call us at 406-922-6462 or visit us on the web at inkoutside.com.
Town & Country Foods is a proud supporter of Bobcat Athletics. As a locally owned company, we believe the benefit of buying local helps support the local economies in southwest Montana. Our stores offer great selections of items you need every day, including organics, specialty foods, fresh meats and produce, along with incredible selections from our bakery and deli departments. Town & Country Foods is 100% employee-owned and serves southwest Montana with 8 locations. Visit your local Town & Country Foods today. Go Cats!
If you're in need of structural engineering for your residential, commercial, or wireless telecommunications project, Ascent Engineering provides comprehensive solutions for your project's success. Ascent Engineering is now serving the Big Sky Country in southwestern Montana. Whether it's a new residential home, new commercial building, long-awaited remodel, covered outdoor living space, retaining wall, or telecommunications tower, Ascent Engineering is your expert at providing forensics, assessments, or designs. Ascent Engineering is a proud supporter of your Montana State Bobcats. Bridger Brewing is home to award-winning locally crafted beer and pizza and is proud to support all things Bobcat sports. Open 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, last beer served at 8 p.m., and located right across from the Brick Breeden Fieldhouse. Stop by after the game today to enjoy a cold pint of beer and a slice of made-from-scratch delicious pizza. Dine-in service and online ordering for takeout are both available. Check out BridgerBrewing.com and at Bridger Brewing on Instagram and Facebook, and stay tuned for updates on our newest adventure in Three Forks, Montana.
At Montana State University, students shape signature experiences that take them across the state and into local communities. MSU is dedicated to its land grant mission, integrating transformational learning, discovery, and service that improves lives. You'll find our students teaching across Montana, conducting research in the heart of Yellowstone National Park, or even creating small shelter prototypes to address homelessness. Montana State University. Think outside.
Working from home has definitely put home projects into overdrive. New landscaping, gardens, patios, and fences. But if you're digging, you're contacting 811. Utility lines, including Northwestern Energy's, can be buried even just a few inches underground, and hitting one can be dangerous. The best way to keep you, the community, and your contractor crew safe is by having lines properly marked. Make your request online at least 2 full business days before you want to dig at call811.com.
We are back at Montana's Ribbon Shop House for Cat Chat. Pleasure to see everybody here today. Remind you that Universal Athletic has been a proud supporter of Bobcat Athletics for over 45 years. Shop their great selection of Bobcat apparel and accessories for all your game day needs. Shop in-store at their North 7th Avenue location or online at shop.msubobcats.com. I'm Keaton Galogly, joined now by grad assistant for the men's team, Shamrock Campbell. Sham, how we doing? How we feeling?
Good.
Yeah, happy to have you along today. So wanted to talk to you a little bit today because you have a pretty interesting background that's going to be able to give us a lot of perspective. So first of all, where are you from?
From Spokane, Washington.
Okay, and then so after your high school playing days were over, where'd you go?
I played 4 years at Carroll College, and then because of COVID, I had the COVID year, extra year. So I was at Point Loma last year with Coach Logie.
Right, and with Coach Logie and Julius, Coach Smith, and as well as teammates with Brian Garacki, too. Yeah. So you had all of that. Now, before you got to Point Loma, how was your career over at Carroll College?
It was awesome. I really enjoyed Carroll College. Made a lot of great friends. It was kind of everything I asked for in my undergrad, so it was a great decision out of high school.
Yeah. Did you have success on the floor?
Yeah. Okay.
So. He's pretty humble. So did you win any awards?
Yeah, a couple.
A couple. Frontier Freshman of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year over your career. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So he had a little bit of success there while he was over at Carroll, and he was a heck of a scorer. You know how many points he scored?
Total?
Yeah.
16 maybe?
Yeah, about 1,600. It was over 1,500 at Carroll.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know how many three-point field goals you made?
No idea.
Yeah, 239 in 4 years at a 42% clip. That's not too shabby. That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Final question about that, too. Do you know how many games you won in your 5-year career between Point Loma and Carroll?
Oh, man. Carroll was right over 100, so right around 130.
Yep, 131 wins in 5 years. He went 131 and 34. That's a pretty good number.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And also made a national championship appearance in the NAIA tournament as a freshman. Yeah. So pretty good career all throughout that.
Yeah.
How did you end up at Point Loma? So you had the extra year. You have this great career at Carroll. How did you end up at Point Loma with Coach Logie and all?
Yeah, so I knew Coach Logie when he's at Whitworth. When I grew up in Spokane, he recruited me. I didn't end up going to Whitworth for a couple reasons. Ended up at Carroll, which was great, and then I had the COVID year. And Carroll doesn't have any master's program, so I was looking to see if I could go somewhere and pursue a master's degree. So actually, my coach at Carroll is awesome. We have a great relationship. He actually reached out to Coach Logie for me, and we had that previous relationship. So he ended up having a spot, and I ended up at Point Loma, and ended up being awesome. We had an awesome season, made some great friends, and it was just a great experience being able to be in San Diego for a year and play for Coach Logie and Coach Smith.
Yeah, 29 wins that year, 20-0 in conference that season. Yeah. But you mentioned the Masters. Now, the Masters is a kind of an important thing in the college piece. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much any assistant coach job, you got to have the master's. Is that right?
Yeah.
So, okay, so you're able to go there, start working on that. What were your impressions when you got to that staff at Point Loma, right? Like, you obviously had the 4 years at Carroll, had a great experience there, but what were some of the things that Coach Logie and his staff were doing that really stood out when you first got to Point Loma?
Yeah, right away their terminology is new, so you had to learn that right away. And then Coach Logie's just a great offensive mind. I mean, he right away you could see we're going to have a little more offensive freedom, really kind of spread teams out, so that was fun to play in. And then Coach Smith, he just brings such great energy. He's so great with guard development, so that was awesome playing for him. Getting to work with him every day was great, really helped my game.
Yeah, so just kind of seeing the way they had the terminology and the type of offense that they were running really kind of stood out. How similar is it watching him now from, the grad assistant position to watching him work here compared to what he was doing at Point Loma?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing the same type of stuff, so that's really helped me. Just same terminology, same offense has really helped. So it's the same stuff, but just seeing him here, like I didn't realize how much went into it. Like as a player, you just you show up for practice and extra workouts and lifts, and then now that I'm on the other side of things, you see how much work goes into it, see how hard these guys work. So really cool to see that, and you kind of appreciate it more that you're on this side, and as a player you don't really know about it. But
it is kind of funny. I feel like that's the thing that stands out every time somebody goes from the player's side, because you think, oh yeah, the coaches are just kind of doing whatever they're doing, but in reality they're usually sitting behind a laptop cutting tape. Is that right?
For sure, yeah. They spend a lot of time breaking down film, very detailed. That's the other thing I just think that I've kind of learned is how detailed you have to be in everything. Scouts, practice plans, how you teach. So that's been really cool to see too.
Yeah. Give us a little more insight too on just the graduate assistant role. Like, what is it, and why is this the springboard to get you into the coaching ranks?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of help out with a little bit of everything. Just I help out with scouts a little bit, workouts, and then help with travel and just help on the road however I can. So really, I'm just helping anywhere I can, take some duties off everyone's plates whenever they need it, and then it's awesome just being around them and being able to be in the meetings with them and just learn as much as I can is really the biggest thing for me right now. Just being around them is awesome.
Yeah, and so when you're kind of learning some of this stuff, I mean, are you trying to break down some of the X's and O's, or how they communicate, or what are some of the things that have stood out that you've learned to this point?
Yeah, just how they communicate, and like I said, just how detailed they are, and how each coach has their niche, and that's kind of what I need to find. Coach Payne's really good at identifying things on defense and defensive positioning and how we guard ball screens and stuff. And then, like I said, Coach Logie's great offensive mind, X's and O's. Coach Scholl's great seeing through an offensive lens. Each of the coach on staff has different things. They're see better than other things, so that's been cool to see each and learn from each coach.
Yeah, all right, that's interesting stuff. Now, the other big aspect of coaching is obviously the recruiting side of it. Mm-hmm. What's it like watching these guys go out and go through the recruiting? I mean, I don't think people truly understand just the grind it takes to go out and find that next generation that's going to be coming into the program.
Yeah, I mean, they're constantly recruiting and looking for the future of the program. I mean, I kind of learned that you're doing both at the same time. You're 100% in on the season and that, but I get there's a little part where you're still recruiting and looking towards the future too. You're always talking to people and looking to recruit the right guys and the right fit.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's about the sustained success, right? And if you're going to have sustained success, you can't just put all your chips into one player and then come over here. So, trying to find that and that sort of thing. Finding the right player. I think that's a cliche we hear from a lot of people. What is that? I mean, I think Logie's talked about it a little bit. We're going to talk about it with Coach Smallwood and some other people here. But, what is that? As you identify what you want to be your right player, what are some of the attributes you see?
Just high-character kids, and I think kids that are just skilled, people that can pass, shoot, dribble. And I think that's kind of what Coach Logie's built his teams around, just very highly skilled players that are able to do multiple things, that can play multiple positions. I think is important.
Yeah. All right, so up next for you after this year is over, where are you going to be at in your degree, and then just kind of how do you go from here to the next position and the next role?
So I have one more year after this to finish up my master's program, so I'll be here another year. And then after that, I'm not sure, just kind of see where this journey takes me and see if I can land another coaching job or, I mean, it's see what opportunities there are after this next year.
Yeah, just a lot of networking and getting out there and seeing
sure.
if you can survive working under our other ops guy, Colin McGettigan, who's in charge of all of that. I'm sure that's a lot of fun, too. I mean, you're just trying to put all that together, but it's a whole different team on the ops side compared to being, the players that are wearing the jerseys, right?
For sure.
Yeah. And it's a lot that goes into it, is it not?
There is, yeah. I mean, the operation is a lot. That's one of the things I've noticed is a lot more, too. Like, there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of box to check off.
Yeah, 3 square meals a day.
Yeah.
Where's the bus going to go? When are we landing? Where's the flight? Are we getting a connection? It's a lot to get these guys from point A to point B.
Yeah, I've joked with some of my teammates from last year. It's like going on the road last year was like awesome. Like you show up and you get your food and you go to shoot around, and now it's like you're always running around doing something. But it's still fun to be on the road and see different places. But a lot busier when on the road when you got to take care of some of the operation things.
Yeah, no doubt. You miss playing at all? I mean.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be a part of me that misses playing, but I've really enjoyed coaching so far, and I'm super grateful for this opportunity. And I get to play some scout team in practice, so that's always fun to get out there and play a little bit. But,
one of those things that kind of gives you a little more credibility when you can knock down a 3 over somebody.
Sure, a little bit. Yeah,
it helps a little bit. Get down a little bit on defense. Like, okay, you're just on scout team. Awesome. Well, Shamrock Campbell, excited for the journey ahead for you. Excited that we get another year of you as well, and. Man, it's a long road, but it's a fun process for sure.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, Shamrock Campbell. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll switch over to talk some women's basketball. Natalie Picton will be joining us after this timeout. You're listening to Cat Chat, presented by Learfield.
For every peak, valley, and plateau, for every mishap and every adventure, for every Montanan in every season of life, Bozeman Health is here to deliver care with quality, compassion, and respect. Because we see you as more than the patient you are today. We look to what's on the horizon for you and our community over the decades to come. That's care beyond care. Well beyond. Bozeman Health.
You are a Bobcat fan, and your seat matters. Section 108, right in the middle. And a perfect view of the fast break, alley-oop, and slam dunk. At Kendall Ford of Bozeman, we're a proud supporter of Montana State Athletics. We're big fans of teamwork, dedication, and helping customers find the best deal on the perfect vehicle to fit their needs. Where you sit matters, as in the driver's seat. Get started at KendallFordBozeman.com. Kendall, let's start something great.
Rocky Mountain Credit Union has supported Montana State Athletics for over 40 years and provides a local credit union for past, present, and future Bobcats. You can have it all with RMCU. Low rates, local banking, a place to start saving, or work on building your credit. Visit your local branch or online at rmcu.net to become a member today. That's rmcu.net. Go Bobcats!
Are you craving more Bobcat basketball action? Join us every Tuesday night at the Rib and Chop House in Bozeman for the ultimate MSU basketball experience. Coaches Matt Logie and Tricia Binford are ready to spill the beans on all things Bobcat basketball. Plus, catch the inside scoop from new student-athlete guests each week. Don't miss out on an exclusive behind-the-scenes look into the Bobcat program. We've got exciting prizes, delicious food, and a chance to interact with the coaches. It all tips off at 6:30 every Tuesday at the Rib and Chop House. Cheer on our Cats and make it a night to remember.
Join Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any Town Pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Right down the road, pump it up, yeah.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
We are back at Montana's Rib and Chop House for Cat Chat. I'm Keaton Galogly, joined with by freshman Natalie Picton. And before we get going into this, let's pause 10 seconds for our network station identification. This is Cat Chat.
AM 1450 KMMS, Bozeman, 1340 KPRK Livingston, where Montana talks.
All right, once again, Keaton Galogly along with freshman point guard Natalie Picton. Natalie, how we doing? How we feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
How's the season going? We're into February.
Yes.
You know, you're a freshman, so does the season feel long?
It does. It does feel so long, especially because we were here in the summer.
Right.
So, but I love it.
Yeah.
I have no complaints.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And you've been playing a lot of minutes, so kind of holding up, feeling good at this point?
Yeah, body's a little bit sore. I love to sleep. But other than that, pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. The sleep is repairing.
Yes,
so
for sure.
Sleep is basically game prep.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So keep on doing that. So, Natalie, you're from Canada, from Ontario.
Yes.
So kind of over by Niagara Falls, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
have you been to Niagara Falls?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually went to school in Niagara Falls.
Okay.
So it was really cool.
In the falls? Oh, no.
It's right near the falls, but not in the falls. But yeah, it was pretty nice.
Okay, sweet.
It's good to have that view.
Yeah, I've never been over there.
No.
Is it as big and like majestic as?
Oh yeah, the Canadian side is better than the U.S. side,
Is
but yeah, it's really there's a lot to do. A lot of kids and tourists are all around, and there's like this one strip called Clifton Hill.
Okay.
It's like has all the amusements and like everything that everybody loves to do. So
Right.
I don't know, everybody just loves to see it. So I'm used to it at this point, but
Yeah, that's cool. I've
Yeah.
not been over there yet, but
No.
it's definitely on the list for
Yes,
sure.
good.
So, obviously Niagara Falls is over there kind of by
Yes.
Toronto and Buffalo and all that.
Yeah.
So a long trip over here to
Yes,
Bozeman, Montana.
very long.
How did Montana State get on your radar, and why are you
Yeah.
here in Bozeman?
Yeah, so I was actually playing at a tournament in Toronto, and Sunny came and she was watching one of my games, and she saw me. But it was so funny because during that game, I was actually really, really sick. But I was still playing, and then Sunny saw me, and then we got in contact, and then like about a week later, I got into a Zoom call with Coach Bin, and
Yep.
Coach Sunny. And then they talked about, they kind of told me like about Montana State, and then showed me like a little bit of a slideshow on like what it looks like and like the brick and everything like that. And then shortly after, I came on a visit, so of November of last year. It was amazing. I loved it, and I loved like the view. It was so different because I don't really have mountains where
Right.
I'm from, so just seeing that was awesome. And then meeting the team and just like getting to know all of them individually was amazing because it's like very family oriented, and I loved that because if I want to come here, like if I wanted to go to a school, I wanted it to be like home-like because it's so far away, so I needed kind of like that connection. But it's really about it. It was all Sunny.
Yeah, and we're going to talk with Sunny here
Yeah.
in a little bit. But, so you go through that, you get to meet the team, get a little bit of the family atmosphere.
Yeah.
And also how much, like, the support that is here in terms of the fan
Yes.
base, how much was that a factor?
Oh, it was awesome. I didn't really understand that we had so much support until I played the first game here. And then that's when I was like, oh, like this is awesome. Like just having so many people to fall back onto, and just them watching you and like seeing you grow is just, I don't know, it's an amazing experience.
Well, and how much support did you guys have in high school? I mean, how many good crowds were you playing in front of coming up?
Yeah, so I played on a team called Niagara Prep. So it was like a prep school, and it was like the highest kind of division there. It's called OSBA. So we had like a bunch of crowds come out, and it was pretty awesome. It wasn't as big as the kind of American schools,
right?
But we still had a bunch of people show
Yeah.
out, so it was nice.
Yeah, so and you definitely don't want to go down in terms of the support.
Yeah, exactly.
But you do feel like it's kind of wind in your sails when you're out there and you've got that home crowd in front of you?
Yeah, it's awesome. Even if when we're down, like a few points, just like the crowd, just like the energy, like brings us and like picks us up. Especially for me and my defense, I need like the crowd to like get me going, and like that kind of keeps me at a good pace for the whole game. But
yeah, well, and one thing we've talked with Coach Binford both here and on the TV show is that defense that you have. I mean, you're a Bobcat, but you got a little dog in you when you're playing on that defensive side. Where does that come from?
I don't know. I think it's just like I'm smaller than most guards and most bigs, and I think I just go out there like I have nothing to lose and Like, my body's there to protect the rim, and I can do that by taking charges, not really by blocking.
Right.
So I kind of just use my ability in, like, a different way and my strengths than, like, Ella, where
Right.
she's a shot blocker.
Right, and she's
Which-
got all that length.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
really, your whole freshman class,
Yes.
they have so much length.
Yes.
How much fun is it watching them play defense and just kind of
Yeah.
what they can do because of that wingspan?
Mhm. Oh, it's so much fun. Like, my whole defense is pressuring, so when I get beat, I know that, like, Ella will be back there to, like, block the ball, or Alea.
Yeah.
And I know Izzy will, like, get her hands in there, like, as, like, when the drive's happening. So I always know that they have my back, which is awesome.
Right.
And it's fun.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and so, you've obviously played a lot. You've been the starting point guard all year. So, you're a de facto sophomore now. We all get that. And Isabel Bunyan's been playing a bunch
Yes.
too. But watching the other freshmen kind of come along now, Malia Egan's getting some good
Yes.
minutes. She's
Yeah.
been fun. She's
Oh,
been a
yeah,
firecracker.
for sure.
Ella Johnson seems to really be getting comfortable right now. We've had her on the show this year. But what are some of the conversations with them now that you're in a leadership role? What are some of the things they've been asking you, or the piece of advice you've been giving them as they've been thrust into a bigger role here?
Not really much.
Yeah.
Just like we kind of get into the gym on like the off days or when we have time before practice and like get some shots up or like run through some things that like Ella isn't so like I don't know, like she's not so. I don't know the word.
Is it physical, mental, or just as fast? Or
I would be more like mental. Like,
Yeah.
so when she gets a ball in like this position,
Yeah.
like she kind of, like, what do I do? What do I do?
Yeah,
and
so
like
she-
that's where we
she
like
starts
calm
overthinking
down.
it a
Yeah.
little bit.
And like so like she would look at me and I'll be like, it's okay. Like if you need to, I'll come get the ball and like I can help you. But yeah, with Malia, she's awesome. I love being on with her
Yeah.
and like playing defense together because we're both super fast and we kind of have the same defense.
Yeah.
So her and I up there pressuring, I love it and it's awesome. And then yeah, just Izzy and Leia were just off on the side shooting together, and
Yeah.
it's just so nice having like another person that would always come and shoot with you on like the off days, so you're not always going alone.
Right. Yeah.
But,
yeah.
yeah.
It gets a little boring.
Oh,
just
yeah.
heaving up shots by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like having to run and get my rebound.
Yeah, no, we don't want any of that.
No.
You know, burn up the legs while you're taking the shot, not
Yeah.
chasing down rebounds.
Exactly.
I want to ask you too. So the Idaho State game winner, Madison Hall hit.
Yes.
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 Okay. I got to ask you about that play. I don't know how much you have it in your brain because there's been a lot of plays before
Yeah.
since then.
Oh, I remember.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
That was a crazy play. Just in trying to get it down low, didn't get handled. It's loose.
Yeah.
You kick it out to Madison. How did you see Madison? I just feel like it was so fast. She
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily supposed to be there. She kind of crashed. Like, how did you know she was going to be there?
I actually didn't. To be fair, I saw KJ.
Okay.
I saw her crashing,
Uh-huh.
and I was like trying to pass it to her, but then it went to Jack.
Yeah.
And it was just, I guess I was just like, oh, okay.
Perfect.
Perfect if you were both there, and she got it, and it was an awesome shot to win the game.
Right.
But yeah, if I'm being honest, I was looking for Taylor.
Yeah.
And that was like where I was supposed to go. I got the rebound, and I saw KJ, but I did see Jack, but
Right.
I was mostly like focused on passing that to KJ.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
I guess
wild.
it went through.
Right. Well, and even before that, because
Yeah.
you were trying to get it down to Taylor down low.
Yes.
Right. And
Yeah.
she kind of bobbled it, slipped out of her hand,
Yeah,
so it got a
slipped
little bit
right out.
loose. But just staying locked into that moment and not losing your composure
my-
while.
yeah.
I mean, I feel like you're losing more composure now than you were on the floor.
I'm like thinking about it again, and I'm like, I don't even know how that happened, but I don't know. It was kind of like a broken play.
Right.
So it wasn't like a play at all. Like we
Yeah.
were kind of going, I think we were supposed to go the opposite way.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And get like that kind of duck in, but since it was broken, I had to like think of something really fast. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to try and drive. And then I knew I was going to pass it to the little dish.
Right.
But then it bobbled out, and I just kept running, and it kind of just fell right into my hands. And I
Yeah.
was like, yep, and
Yeah.
just pass it right away. But yeah.
Yeah, just keep running. I feel
Yeah.
like that's really good advice.
Just keep going. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and that kind of speaks to, the fast mistakes.
Yeah.
That's something Binford's talked about a lot. Was that something you
Yes.
kind of already had? I mean, what does that mean to you?
Like just going at
Yeah,
like a million miles
just
an hour.
fast mistakes. Like is that just hey, just go for it, and even if you're like 50-50, just make sure you're
Yeah.
doing one thing.
Yeah, well, for me, I'm really learning on how to like control my pace because
Yeah.
like I am very fast and like learning how to probe and then find like a good pass with like being composed.
Okay.
But with that one, I was just going and like going past and like looking to dish because I think one of my strengths is like when I go fast, I always find like that dish or like
Okay.
Tay or Mara. They're always in like the right position, so it's easy to like get that dish. But I don't know, just
Yeah.
keep going, and then if I make a mistake, kind of fix it for the next time.
Right.
And that's kind of like how I do it.
Well, and that's a good lead-in, too, because, hey, look, mistakes are going to happen.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
it's just if you're playing as many minutes as you are, nobody's going to be perfect. Basketball's really, really hard.
Yeah.
But tell me a little bit about just the mental side of that. You know, hey, I missed a shot, or you know, I made the wrong read or the wrong pass. How do you flush that play? Like, what is the mental for you?
Yeah. So at the start of the season, it was more nerves, and if I made a mistake, I was like, oh shoot, I kind of failed Ben on that play. But playing for Ben and throughout the whole year, I've gotten more confident and it's okay if I make a mistake, but next time this is where you can look.
Yeah.
So that swivel pass instead of dumping in to Taylor, just getting the angles right. I think is what's been helping me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you expand on that a little bit more? Are you talking about the angles in terms of the pass or where you're seeing people? From what perspective are you talking about angles?
Yeah. So when I'm coming off a pick and roll,
yeah.
and I do a swivel step, and I have Taylor, but it's not a good enough pass that it will get there. It'll be a turnover.
Yeah.
Look to the riser for a better kind of angle for her to get the ball and then put it right up.
Okay.
So kind of that.
What's the riser?
Riser is coming off of a screen, looking back where I came from,
okay.
a KJ or a Jack running up for that pass.
Because they're kind of rising up.
Yeah, for
toward
a
the perimeter.
three.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay, cool. So just seeing more, not only with your eyes, but just mentally knowing that somebody's going to be there.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a lot of faith and trust.
Oh gosh.
No,
yes.
You're nervous now. You're more nervous now than you are on the floor, I think.
I just try not to show it on the floor.
Yeah. Well, well, up next is it's the Grizz. We got the game over there.
Yes.
You excited for this atmosphere? Excited to get out there and give it a go?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Yeah.
Yeah. What are the seniors telling you about the atmosphere we're going to see over there?
They're saying it's going to be loud.
Yep.
I'm going to have to project my voice. I'm going to have to make sure I don't start a play unless everybody knows and is on the same page.
Yep.
And just I have to stay kind of mentally with our little core group and not look out into the crowd and hear people screaming and everything. Kind of just stay mentally in the game.
Right.
So I think that's going to be the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
But I think we could do it.
I think so too.
We've played at places where the band is right in our ear,
Yep.
and we're trying to focus, and we've had success. So.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. 2 o'clock on Saturday over in Missoula. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It will.
All right.
It will.
Natalie Picton, freshman point guard. It's been great. Thank you, Natalie.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. We're taking a break on Cat Chat, presented by Learfield.
There is a local ranch just outside of Boise, Idaho, that has masterfully bred Japanese Wagyu cattle with American Angus cattle. Now this American-style Wagyu beef is available to you and your family. Rosars presents Snake River American-style Wagyu beef. Snake River Farms beef is famously found in many exclusive 5-star steak restaurants. Snake River Farms, available at your local neighborhood Rosars.
At Jersey Mike's, watching them freshly slice the meat and cheese for my sub is a sight to behold. The layers of ham, salami, and pepperoni are even more glorious than the pink and orange layers of a sunrise. Yeah, the sun's pretty and all that, but in about 7 billion years it's going to explode, obliterating the earth and every living thing on it. And if there's no sun, there's no subs. Meanwhile, the only thing a sub ever obliterated was my hunger. Freshly sliced right in front of you. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
Ready to build your brand? Think Inc. outside the box for your complete branding solutions. Located in Bozeman, Montana, we offer a full print shop for banners, signs, wraps, trade show booths and graphics, promotional products, and much more. If you can think it, we can ink it. We are a proud supporter and corporate sponsor of the MSU Bobcats. Like us on Facebook to see some of our cat wraps. Ready to build your brand? Think Inc. and call us at 406-922-6462 or visit us on the web at inkoutside.com.
When a power line has fallen down, it can be downright dangerous and even deadly. That's because downed lines can still energize the ground and objects around them. To help keep you and others safe, Northwestern Energy says stay at least 35 feet or the length of a semi-truck away from a downed power line and anything the line is touching. You should always assume the line is live, and if you see a downed line, immediately call 911 and warn others. Northwestern Energy, delivering a bright future.
The snow is falling and temps are dropping, Bobcat fans, so it's the perfect time to cozy up with heartwarming soups and comfort food. Elevate your kitchen game and create magic tonight with La Cuisine's premium cookware. Don't forget the secret ingredient, a new top-selling cookbook. Attend a cooking class and you'll learn how to make every meal a slam dunk. La Cuisine is Bozeman's boutique kitchen store, and we can help you create the perfect table with our curated Montana-made and European dining treasures. Discover the ideal blend of style and functionality at La Cuisine, 2405 West Main.
If you're in need of structural engineering for your residential, commercial, or wireless telecommunications project, Ascent Engineering provides comprehensive solutions for your project's success. Ascent Engineering is now serving the Big Sky Country in southwestern Montana. Whether it's a new residential home, new commercial building, long-awaited remodel, covered outdoor living space, retaining wall, or telecommunications tower, Ascent Engineering is your expert at providing forensics, assessments, or designs. Ascent Engineering is a proud supporter of your Montana State Bobcats.
All right, we are back one final time at Montana's Ribbon Shop House for Cat Chat. Montana's Ribbon Shop House has been serving Rocky Mountain communities for over 20 years. Our ability to grow has come through our commitment to Rocky Mountain hospitality, a concept which incorporates a casual attitude with our commitment to loyalty, safety, service, and quality food. We hope you'll be our guest at one of our Montana locations soon. I'm Keaton Galogly, joined now by Associate Head Coach Sunny Smallwood. Coach, how we doing? How we feeling?
Doing awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Natalie's going through her first February as a Division I player. How are you holding up? You kind of know how to make sure you can hold up through the grind as we get into February?
Absolutely. We've got a head coach who really sets the tone when it comes to understanding how to balance.
Yeah.
In as much as we all come in here going 100 miles an hour and, feeling like you have to be doing something every minute of the day and night. And she pretty much sets the tone and teaches us, like, she'll come in and say, what are you doing here on a day off? Well, can you do that at home? You
Yeah.
can do your laundry. You can do other things while you're doing that. So yes, very much so. She's been very good for me.
Yeah, yeah, that's good because, sometimes, putting that extra hour in isn't actually going to help. If you
Yep.
take the hour off, you're going to do it in half the time,
That's right. That's right.
All right, so one of the reasons we wanted to have you on was to talk about this freshman class. Coach Ben has been very complimentary of everything you've done and all the hard work you've done to put this class together. First of all, one of the fan questions I got coming in was, have you ever had 5 freshmen on the floor at the same time playing meaningful minutes?
No, the answer to that is absolutely no.
Okay.
And it doesn't mean we haven't had a lot of meaningful freshman minutes throughout my time here, throughout Coach Ben's time here. But to have 5 is real. To actually have 5 freshmen on your team really doesn't happen that often.
Right.
Let alone playing meaningful minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that's over a third of your roster, basically. I mean, it's close to like half of your scholarships.
Exactly.
Which is a lot. But, I mean, have you guys have you seen Ben maybe adjust at all to having to coach the freshmen? Like, she didn't make any coaching adjustments? Or did you bring in the right kids that were just kind of ready for her template?
Well, I think that, first of all, we're in this position because of injuries.
Right.
So that wouldn't have been there. So you adjust as you need to based on what's happening with your team. And she is the consummate adjuster. I mean, that's why she's 19 years and so successful.
No doubt.
But so to answer that, we're in this position. We had to pull 2 kids out of redshirt, who are playing meaningful minutes. And, you just do what you got to do and you move to the next one. And, I think if there's an adjustment you make, you have to learn to play, through some mistakes. And, that doesn't mean you don't keep teaching them. They all have a position coach, but even there are times when Coach Ben will take Natalie and go do video with her, maybe bring Devin in with her so that they're both watching with Trish, besides Devin doing that video with Natalie as well. So she takes a very personal interest in every single kid to make sure that as assistants, we're doing what we need to do, but then she'll continue to push what she wants. And the fact that she's a point guard is great for Natalie.
Yeah.
It's great for Malia because she can give them firsthand experience on what she needs and what she wants, what she sees.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Natalie a little bit. She said she was sick the first time she came and saw her play.
Yeah, and you know what? This child was really good. And
even when she was ill?
Even when she was ill, I did not find out because her father is her coach up in Niagara. And so he didn't tell me till after. And I got to see her play 2 games. Then we talked, and And he told me, and I was like, well, if that's her sick, I'd love to see her healthy.
Yeah.
So, her speed is like no other. She had one of the best players in the country playing against her. They had to move her onto her because nobody else could stop her. And so that's a testament to her.
Yeah. And so how long were you on recruiting Natalie? Like, how long were you with her and just seeing that before you guys were able to kind of go through the process and get her to commit there?
That's a really funny question because with going through these COVID years has been really difficult from a recruiting perspective.
Totally.
And so, Coach Ben starts the conversations really early to try to see which of these kids are going to come back and use their COVID year, which ones aren't. We try to put deadlines, but at the same time, she's all about the players, and she wants them to get the experience they want. And if they decide they aren't going to and then they want to, she's going to find a way. So one of the things that happened is we thought some were coming back, then they decided not to. All of a sudden, we were kind of through our recruiting periods, and we had to go out and start recruiting. And just so happened, I was at a prep school tournament up in Canada, which, as Natalie already kind of told us, it's the best kids in Canada.
Yeah.
And so to answer your question, I had just seen her that weekend.
Yeah.
And I got to watch her play 3-4 games throughout the course of that weekend. And then we started the recruiting process, and it went very fast. It was almost like a transfer portal type thing because that goes so fast. But because we'd just seen her, she was already a senior, we got on it right then.
Yeah. So you had that extra spot. You kind of needed to get somebody in there for her. And one of the things, too, that, we've seen is obviously the defense has been awesome this year. It's been so much fun to watch that side of the ball. So, Coach Ben has talked about that you guys are really trying to recruit defense first, or kids who are committed to defense. Is that right?
That is right.
Yeah, and so you saw that out of Natalie in the way she was able to play on the defensive side?
Yeah, what's really fun is we all know she's fast. We have a lot of fast kids, but for kids that really understand angles, they really understand when you tell them to dictate, where Natalie understands if we tell her we want to force everything to the middle. She understands she's capable of finding the stance to make sure that she keeps that kid going to the middle. Very seldom will she get beat one-on-one on ball simply because she does. She's got a very high IQ for the game, very savvy, but that also applies to her athleticism, not only on the offensive side. And, the defensive side requires IQ as well. And so absolutely that was one of the first things that I really believed, because you think about her size, if you don't necessarily have size like on our team, then you've got to have speed, you've got to have attack mindedness, you've just got to bring some other intangibles that are going to make separate you.
Right. So she's got the speed and maybe not the biggest size that you may have in some of the other players. And obviously Ella Johnson, who we've had on the show, she's been playing great basketball. You look at Bollinger and some of your other freshmen. You guys have some serious size in terms of that freshman. How unique is that right now?
It's very unique, and it's a big advantage as well. To have the size, and the majority of them are extremely athletic too.
Right.
And that's one of the things when we're recruiting. We like to recruit not only kids, with size, but also with versatility, that they can play different positions. Like you take Alea, she can actually switch 1 through 5.
That's pretty impressive.
At 6'2", 6'3" that she is. And, she's very good blocking shots, as you know, and that's really helpful, even though, despite the fact that she doesn't have a ton of experience. Ella, too, can guard 1 through 5. And big advantage for us defensively.
Right, and Ella kind of really started turning the corner here over the last couple of weeks. What was it? When did that light kind of switch for her? Because she was one of the kids he pulled the red shirt off of, and she told us just how nervous she was before she got out there. When did that lights or that switch flip for her, and she starts to contribute the way she is now?
I think it's a process. I don't know that there was ever one moment, but first of all, a lot of times you have to lean into your training. She came from a very good AAU program out in Minnesota, the North Tartan, and so she played on their top EYBL team. So she had very high-level experience. I think coming in and, having been out for a bit and then being pulled from the red shirt and stuck right into it right away, a little of that comes back to you. She's got good instincts, as a player herself. But I think just starting to get some minutes really made some difference. And then she could lean into what she knew from before, and then also start starting to really grasp the system, which is really helpful.
Yeah.
And the fact that she can play guard and post, and has that ability offensively and defensively really makes a big difference. So I think it's a process.
Yeah. Malia Egan, Montana native. Nice to get some Montana natives in there on the roster as well. But it seems like she's really come along too. And Natalie kind of talked about the spark plug that she is on the defensive side. What are you seeing from Malia lately?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this young lady, coming from Colstrip, first of all, she has a lot of want to, just like Natalie does. She's got speed. She, too, like Natalie, Leia has attack-mindedness, so she understands what it means when we say lockdown. Nobody gets by you. She will give it everything she's got to do that. I also think that one of her gifts, even in high school, was the fact that she was a rebounding guard. Darian White, one of what'd she do? Lead us in rebounding a couple years. So very similar to Darian, she goes in and gets the boards after she's in the play. Whether it's offensively or defensively, she's getting us extra possessions. So even though right now she's not necessarily scoring points for us and things like that, she's definitely somebody we can rely on defensively to get to the boards, get us extra possessions, and then every now and then she surprises you with something else special.
No doubt. Well, future feels pretty darn bright right now.
It does.
Yes, it does.
It
All
does.
right. Associate head coach Sonny Smallwood, appreciate the time today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, that wraps it all up. Thank you to Natalie Picton, Shamrock Campbell, and head coach Matt Logie for joining us today. Women tip at 2, men tip at 7 on Saturday over in Missoula. Until next time, this is Cat Chat presented by Learfield.
You've been listening to Cat Chat with Matt.